I hope everyone is well. Thank you so much for joining me on Not Bobby Durkins, because here I am not Bobby Durkins. I'm Brian Knight, and this is my brand new channel. Today I'm going to talk about some exciting news coming out of Clemson. Um, Clemson's finally using the transfer portal, and I want to talk about that. It's very exciting. Heard about this, and I want to address it, and I'll address it quickly. By the way, if you are not subscribed to the channel, remember subscribing is free. So it's not like I'm asking you to pay a monthly subscription. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up and the notifications, because notifications notify you when I go live. I do appreciate it. So I started a live stream just about 20 minutes ago, and then it died on me. My browser crashed, whatever. So I'm going to start over, but this time I have even more facts on my side, and it's going to be enjoyable. I'll make it fast though. So this morning, based on a tip given to me by Tiger Nation, one of my longtime Bobby Durkins followers, told me that Clemson is going to use the transfer portal. So I went on over to a couple of sites and checked it out, and they are going to use transfer portal. So I was like, yes, because if you're like me, you realize that the transfer portal can be extremely, extremely valuable, especially in the new landscape of college football. And then I read what's going on. I'm pulling this up right now. Um, you're going to appreciate this. I should have done this before the video. This is one thing that did close down when I was restarting this video. So I want you to understand something. Clemson could actually have some value, get some value out of the transfer portal. There are talented individuals out there who could come play for us. So I'm going to get right to this. So I read that Clemson's looking at a quarterback come into the quarterback room. I was like, well, it's kind of odd. We have Zany coming in. We obviously have Cade, who sat on the bench and had a miraculous game that was unforeseen in the ACC championship. At least that's what you and I were told, that he was not ready this entire season. And then they put him out there with the game on the line, with the championship on the line, with our first string players, missing our best wide receivers, and he absolutely tore it up. So someone was being misled. Someone was not telling the truth. So anyway, come to find out, it is grad transfer from Alabama to Arizona State, and now possibly wanting to transfer here as basically a GA. But he would be transferring in to play quarterback for us, but not play for us. So he'd do like Hunter Johnson did this year. You're dressed out just in case something happens, but you're just basically back there to talk to the quarterback. And it's Paul Tyson. I did some research. Someone told me about this. I think it was Tiger Red Devil told me, but Paul Tyson is the great grandson of Paul Bear Bryant. So we have an Alabama tie there. And then once I started digging in, I remember this kid. I want to stop here and say something just in case Paul Tyson or his family hears this. If you see me in my home talking about your son or your family member, I can understand you getting really irritated with me. This is nothing towards you or towards your family. Your son as or family member has the ability to go into college football, and most of us don't. The abscess tooth that's being touched here by Clemson fans is that we need to use the transfer portal for certain players until certain recruits mature, or certain recruits just join the flipping team. They commit, they sign, and they're here. That is the new landscape of college football. Whether we like it or not, that's the new landscape. But for us Clemson fans to have this dangling in our face that, oh, we're using the transfer portal, who? And come to find out, instead of Sweeney reaching out, or someone on Sweeney's staff reach out and say, hey, Paul, how about this? Instead of us playing games here and dressing you up as a quarterback and saying we're using the transfer portal, how about we get you in as a GA? All right. You have, football royalty running through your blood. Let's get you here. It'd be fair to you. It'd be fair to the Clemson fans. But that's not what is happening here. I also want to address this. Someone told me this week when I was talking about us using the transfer portal, said we don't want anyone's second-hand players who can't get on the field. Once again, Cade Klubnik sat his happy five-star tail on the bench the majority of the season because someone would not start him, and they even let it leak out through the media. Cade's not ready. Cade's not coachable. Cade's throwing a bunch of interceptions in practice. Somebody lied there. So if Cade Klubnik would have transferred, was he a trashy player? Was he a terrible football player? No. No. And there are players who's been lied to. There have been players who, you want to know why there's 20-something players from Texas A&M transferring out? Look no farther than their recruiting. Clemson is going after a young man who has been at 2 different stops. I don't know him. He may be a great guy. He may be a terrible person. I don't know. But as far as Clemson football goes, make him a GA. Stop saying you're going to the transfer portal. And one of the things that really bothers me, real quick, I'm going to say hello. Tiger Red Devil, thank you that you're back. Chase Henderson, you are back. I don't see Parker back in here. Parker's probably listening and having to work on something. He's not got to comment. But Chase, it's good to see you. And we're going to have to get together and talk over the weekend. But folks, I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. Parker, see, there you are. There you are. The Henderson sisters, as I call them. 2 of the loveliest broads I know. But folks, you need to understand that in recruiting, these coaches lie. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And they use the very best of your marketing material one-liners to get players into school. Get them to come to their university and play football for them. They are salesmen. I'm in sales. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm one of those guys that if I can't fulfill something for you, I'm going to tell you. Why? Because I don't like to be known as a liar. And what is interesting, I know this is going to shock you, believe it or not, I gain more sales and more loyalty based on my truth over a long period of time than lying, damaging who I am, damaging people's trust in me because I want to get a one-time sale. You can believe me, you don't have to believe me, I don't care. But a lot of these 40, 50, 60-year-old coaches, and then they're recruiters who are in their 20s and 30s, they go out and Tiger Red Devil says, "Oh, so you don't kill cats." That's the other guy. In fact, he's busy right now. This time of year, there's just people unloading animals like you would not believe, especially cats. Every now and again, he steps over and has to euthanize other animals. I will tell you that I have heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that Bobby Durkins has actually stolen a few possums they wanted euthanized, and when he found out they were not, I'll just say they were well enough to be killed, cooked, and digested that he did it. But me and Durkins already have some problems between ourselves. He hates my guts. He euthanizes pigeons. Yes. Have a comment here. I always used honesty when I was in sales too. It builds respect and the word gets around. It really does. People will trust you to tell the truth. And Chase asked, when will I interview Durkins? I think after I get through this Christmas season, it's trying to kill me. But that is in the making. That is in the making. Bobby Durkins and not Bobby Durkins are going to get together. It's going to be, I think there's going to be a physical altercation. But getting back to this transfer portal thing, but imagine being down at Jackson State. Imagine, listen to me, being at Jackson State and having your coach come in and look at you and tell you that he's dedicated not only to your university, but to HBCU causes. And he's giving you ever Under Armour, Nike, coaching lingo, marketing lingo that you've ever heard in your life. It's like that. What is that guy? Gary Vayner, whatever his name is, the guy who does the marketing. The young people like him because he'll cuss like a sailor talking about business. You know who I'm talking about. All of those slogans, they're getting fired up, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm being part of some change here. Oh, we're going to take those players that were dying to go play in regular state colleges, and they should have been allowed to play. They should have never been held back from playing at regular schools. It was ridiculous. Oh, people of all colors should be able to play anywhere they want to, all over the place. You should field the best athletes no matter what they look like." Hear the words I'm saying. Don't listen to my accent, because some of you, that's all you do. That's what you've been tempered to do. And then they go down to Jackson State, get the #1 recruit in the country to sign with Jackson State. Oh my God, I imagine it was like it was like amazing. And then you start hearing rumors towards the end of the season that your coach, who has promised you that HBCU means a lot to him, a man who is already rich and successful and legendary, who I think is one of the greatest athletes, not football players, athletes, period, to ever play the game. Watched him. I remember when he was with the Falcons. I remember when he was playing for the Braves. I remember it. And you find out that he is going to leave an HBCU to go coach at one of the widest schools in the country. Shouldn't you have the ability to transfer out? You were allowed to. You should be able to transfer wherever you want to. And I know. On the flip side of this, I step back and I say that there's so many people out there that they look and they're blaming everybody for their own personal failures. Take ownership of what you do. Nobody cares about your success. Once I got that through my thick skull, I started doing a lot better in life. Once I realized that nobody cared about my plans, once I realized that nobody cared about my failures or how I felt, I started doing better in life. Started having a lot less anxiety attacks, depression. Take ownership. But at the same time, that still doesn't mean that someone didn't lie to these athletes. Texas A&M is a great example of it. Jackson State is a great example of it. And now these transfer portal opportunities come open. And yes, there's going to be bad mixed in with the good. That's always going to happen. It's like anytime something bad happens, we got to pass a law. We got to pass a law to stop something that's just going to commonly happen. Sometimes you just have to accept we live in a fallen world with imperfect human beings. And then mixed among the imperfect is just right down sadistic, crazy psychopaths. And the transfer portal gives players the immediate ability to do exactly what coaches have been able to do for a very long time, and that's leave whenever a better opportunity comes along. And it's going to have its ramifications that I'm not happy about. College football as a tradition for the most part is dead. Accept it, RIP. When Southern Cal will be a member of the Big Ten, it's done. But to find out, bringing this massive circle back around, that our coaching staff has the ability to use the transfer portal to pick up some players here and there. Some young men. Hey, you want to talk about grace and mercy and giving people second chances? Chase, no, I didn't see what the Washington State coach said the other day. Put it in there if you will in the comments. But folks, I want you to hear this, and I want you to understand this. As a 40-year-old man, I make bad decisions. And a lot of those decisions, I am begging to literally God that I'll be able to change it, make a better decision, get a second chance, third chance, whatever. Is it not an act of mercy for some of these players that you go and you meet with them, you talk to them, and you look them in the eye and you realize this young man was lied to? This young man made a decision because he was pushed by his parents to go to school somewhere where he didn't want to go to. You remember that mom who was sitting beside her son on National Signing Day? It's within the past 10 years. And when he chose one school, she stood up and walked off. Everybody thought that was funny. Can you imagine what it was like going home with that lady? Chase said that the Washington State coach said in a press conference that there have been other head coaches contacting his players, offering them NIL deals. I wouldn't doubt it, my friend. I wouldn't doubt it. And if that's happening, that's wrong. If his players are happy where they're at, that's where the NCAA, which is totally useless, by the way, after that whole North Carolina basketball debacle, finding out they were going to classes that didn't even exist, and then they did nothing but, give like you would a little 3-year-old about to touch I don't know, about to touch a hot eye or stick their tongue into an electrical socket. No, don't do that. That'll hurt my buddy. That's what they did in North Carolina, proving that they are absolutely useless. Clemson could use this portal to go after and give young men second chances who were lied to, realize they were lied to, have them come in play for Clemson, but they won't. They're going to go after Paul Bear Bryant's grandson. Once again, no offense to him, but do we need him dressed up as a football player, stand on the sideline talking to Cade and Vizzini? Isn't that the job of a quarterback coach and a GA? Under the guidance of the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, and the head coach? I know that I understand, you peel back the onion, there's leaders on the sideline who's helping the team. They understand they're not going to see a lot of action on the field unless their team's up 725-0. They get to go out there and throw one pass, they complete it, and then for the rest of their life, they can tell everybody that they completed a 3-yard slant pass against Valdosta State red hat wearing ladies. That was my moment, son. Chase asked a question. So what if Clemson is good without the portal? I don't think they are. I don't think that they are good without the portal. I really don't. Let me rephrase that. It's a possibility that they could be good, but I think that there's a possibility that they are giving up the chance to get some mature players in. Not all of these players are a bust. Grayson McCall, whoever gets Grayson McCall, and I hope Grayson McCall, I know I said that like 56 times in a row, his name. If he will go to a good football team, if I was Tennessee, I would be beating the door down for Grayson McCall. Notice how he go to 247 Sports. Go to 247 Sports. And by the way, I have no relationship with them. They're not paying me. Say that. I want you to go to it right now. In fact, I'm going to put the link in. I'm going to put the link in the comment section here as we speak. Click on that. Yeah, I agree with you, Midland's directory. I think that they're getting a lot of 5-star players in. They're coaching them down to 3-star players. I really do believe that. There's a problem with developing talent across the board. Not all 5 and 4 stars are going to pan out. I get that, but by the law of numbers, if a lot of them are not panning out, especially on one specific side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, let's break this down. On the defensive side of the ball, we do pretty doggone good. It's on the offensive side of the ball. It's the offensive side of the ball that's having problems, which means that goes down to position coaching. That goes down to individual units. That goes down to comes down to the OC having to go to Sweeney. Hey, if Brandon Streeter's walked in and looked at Sweeney and said, "Listen, I know he used to play for you, and I even used to coach him. He's not panning out. We need to go." And Sweeney goes, "No, I want to give him time." Because remember, I was wide receivers coach, and people thought it was crazy that they hired me. But look at this kingdom I built, and he would be right. But here's the deal: the reason everybody's blown away by Dabo Swinney is because what he did and how he did it was like seeing a unicorn getting struck by lightning while simultaneously being bit by a shark. It does not happen. It doesn't. And you got to stop trying to recreate what I like to call Red Sea splitting moments. We saw it happen, one time in the Bible, and then everybody expects it to happen all the time. One time, folks. One flipping time in history. It happened. Boom. And then when it doesn't happen all the time, we're blown away. How stupid can we be? I say that for me, and I say that for other people. Grayson, so if you go to the transfer portal right now, and I just put the link in there, who's the first quarterback you see? It's not Devin Leary. It's not DJ. It's not Hudson Carr. It's not. I'm still going down. I'm trying to get to the next quarterbacks, which I was trying to do that, which I can go to position here. It's not Luke Altmaier. It's not Jeff Sims. It's not Brennan Armstrong. You know who it is? It's the 2-star from Charlotte, North Carolina, who played at Coastal Carolina. Why? I saw him play in person twice, and I've watched him play almost every game of his collegiate career. The guy's amazing. He's 6'3". He's the best RPO quarterback, proven RPO quarterback in the country right now. What about Drake May? He had one season with flipping Josh Downs. Josh Downs is someone I would feel comfortable going, look, me and Josh is going to play the rest of y'all, and we're going to win because Josh is that good. I'm just going to put it close to him. Cade Klubnik. He had talent around him. Grayson McCall did not have the level of talent around him. He had some good players. Now, Isaiah Likely last season was amazing. But as a whole unit, he did not have just world-class talent around him. He had good players, but not like May and Klubnik. There's a reason that guy's number 3 on the board. For anybody who gets him, congratulations. Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, but you take the day off for the 25th because it happens to be that time, it's because it's Christmas. Nobody's giving you days off for other holidays. So gladly take the day off. Yeah, Grayson McCall is the flipping man. He is the flipping man. Players like him getting a chance to go out and make some solid money. Yeah, Jeff Sims is leaving Georgia Tech. Jeff Sims is leaving. And notice how far down he's ranked. I know these rankings cannot always mean something, but I'm telling you, it's interesting. Clemson could be using the trans. I saw where Devin Carter, remember in 2021, DJ's first full season, we went up to North Carolina State. They tried to lose the game. We tried to lose the game. It was a lot like this South Carolina Clemson game. They tried to lose the game. We tried to lose the game. We tried more to lose the game and actually succeeded. That was the same thing that happened up there. But you remember in that game, there was a wide receiver who beasted one of our cornerbacks, took the ball away from him. Kevin Carter. Kevin Carter. I think it's Kevin Carter. I know his last name's Carter. In fact, I'm going to pull this up just for the heck of it. He is in the transfer portal right now. I would love to see him on Clemson's football team. Love it. Absolutely love it. Bring a little more. Dante Thornton from Oregon, he's still available. Get some fight out there. Get some beef out there. You know, if you're gonna have players transfer out, you're gonna have players that are transferring out. And now we're gonna have to start over with Cade. Give Cade somebody who's going to go fight the ball. Carter will fight for the ball. In fact, he might get offensive pass interference called on him in the process. But we are not using this. We're not using the portal effectively. Let's put it this way. Do you have to have the fastest car in the world? No, you don't have to. But if you're racing, you do. You do. If you're just happy with getting out on the track and cruising over 100 miles per hour and going, wow, my granddad's he never drove this fast. And my Aunt Ethel, she never did when we were going to church. Okay, that's fine. But if you want to win the race, you might want to do it. No, Ngata didn't leave. He didn't leave, but I would like to see another wide receiver out there who has some experience under him, that we're not going to have to wait for him to mature for the next couple of years. That's my play on that one. That's my play on that one, because we do have the home run strike with Antonio Williams. I would like to see another home run strike. I know I've looked at our recruiting commitments, but we all know Chase says, okay, to counter that, you can have the fastest, baddest car out there, but if the driver sucks, it doesn't matter. You are 100% right. That's why we need to be picky on who the driver is. Meaning that's why meeting with these players and look them in the eye and see if they're just a money-hungry NIL troublemaker. We don't want them. That's one thing that I like about Sweeney. Sweeney sent Mike Bellamy packing. I don't know. I've heard things about Mike Bellamy. I don't know if they were true or not. But needless to say, he didn't stay with the team. And there's other players who's come and gone that for some reason slip in my mind. And he sent them packing. That Kelly kid, it was Jim Kelly's, was it Chad Kelly? Sent him packing. Guy was talented. But he was out of control. I think it was his uncle, Jim Kelly, said, I've told him over and over, shut up and play football. Some people just can't do, y'all. Some people you just can't deal with them. Speaking of not dealing with people, Seems like my for some reason my computer is not charging, and I don't know why, because I've got it plugged in. The breaker's not flipped. So I'm gonna start winding this down. I have received criticism for my criticism of Sweeney, and I'm gonna say this again. Dabo Swinney has done more for Clemson University than any other coach in any other sport, period, including football. And I respect that. I respect the competitor that I've seen him be over the years. I respect a lot of his philosophies. A lot of them, in fact, I share. I use car analogies a lot, and I'm going to tell you why. Most of us use a vehicle, drive a car, truck, SUV. And what I see with Sweeney is I see a high performance car. Let's just say a Porsche 911. I know we could go to Ferraris, etc., Maybach, but let's just go with a Porsche. I see a Porsche that has won a lot. I see a Porsche that has performed at a luxurious level with class. But I see a Porsche that needs some tuning up. Let's just say a flat tire. The tire's going flat. Maybe there's something wrong with the rim. Maybe we just need to pull the tire off and look at what's wrong. We didn't say we didn't appreciate the Porsche. In fact, that we're wanting to take care of it and that we're looking at it going, something's wrong. It proves that we care. But I'm going to leave it at this. Imagine if that Porsche, a mechanical item, formed a physical mouth with thoughts and feelings and the ability to respond, and looked at you and I as we're stepping back going, man, this thing's not running right. It's just not. It's just not. Something's wrong. We love the car. We just want the car fixed because we really like the car. We love the car. We appreciate the car. I'd rather have this car than any other car. But what happened if that car had formed the ability to speak and come back to you and said, hey, I've given you a lot of wins. And it's been my way. It's been my way. And now you're wanting to fix me? Well, you know what? Maybe you need to get a new car. Nope. Because we care, we're seeing things that are not like you. And we want to fix it. We don't want a new car. We want the one we have fixed because we appreciate it. And a couple of things in here. Brent Niven, I think you're being very fair to Dabo. You've given him criticism when deserved and praise when warranted. I love that guy, but that doesn't mean he's perfect. Yeah, that's right. You talk to my wife. I'm not perfect. Talk to my kids. I'm not perfect. Neither are they, but I love them. Medlin said, yeah, that's right. We don't want a new Porsche. We want our old one fixed, and it's an easy fix. It really is. It's an easy fix. It's an easy fix. Maybe not in his head, but we can see it. Chase said, let's see what happens now that Cade is quarterback. And in fact, I'm thinking about doing a video about this. Not today. I've got to get to work. I logged on early. That's why I can do this right now. And most of my clients are in Europe. So it's already about 4 o'clock, 3 and 4 o'clock over there. So I'm in good shape. That's why I can do what I do. Because I actually love my job. They take care of me, and I want to take care of them. But Chase, that I want to do a video on that because I have a philosophy, and this is something about that you and Parker and I we've got on three-way calls and we've talked about that the talent of Trevor Lawrence and ETN and T. Higgins, those players, right down to Lynn J. Dixon. Lynn J. Dixon was an amazing football player. I hope the very best for him. It covered up bad coaching. They were that good. And I am afraid that Cade is so good, it's going to cover up bad coaching. Then it's going to get us to the playoffs. And then they're going to encounter good coaching with just as good players on the other side. And then they are going to do what LSU and Ohio State did to us in our last two playoff appearances. Could be wrong, but I think history's telling us something else. We'll see, but I'll take a win. I'll take an Orange Bowl. I'll take it. Even on a bad day, it's always a good day to be a Tiger. Thank you for joining me on Bobby Durkins. Not Bobby Durkins, excuse me. If you want to go check out Bobby Durkins, he's been taking rest for a little bit. He tore up the nerves of South Carolina fans with his Spencer Rattler is leaving video. And they came out with over 10,000 people to come tell him that he's wrong. They're not realizing that that's part of the plan. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the notifications. Free again. Thumbs up. Free. Absolutely. So I do appreciate it. Pass this along to some of your forums. And I appreciate everything that each one of you have done. Thank you all who has already subscribed. Thank you for your support. I've received some great comments online and offline. And it truly does it really does mean a lot to me that a lot of you um, have really supported and said some kind things. And I really enjoy the banter back and forth. I'm glad that we can talk about this. I'm glad that we can discuss some of these, you know, um, even if we don't agree. Even if we don't agree, we need to in this country, and I'm gonna shut up after this. In this country, we need to get back to where we can disagree with some honor versus saying, "Oh, you disagree with me, you're a racist, you're a bigot, and we need to ruin your life." That 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 crap has to stop, and it has to stop now. Because if it doesn't, goodbye civilization. So, on a brighter note, it's almost Christmas. My youngest is about to turn 7 next week, and it's bowl season. It is bowl season. Even the crappy ones, it's going to be fun to watch. Got Notre Dame 2164 in here. Love you, Brian. I love you. I love you too, man. I love you, Blue. Tell me what movie that's from. And yeah, all right. I will be talking about the Orange Bowl that's coming up. I will be talking about the Tennessee and Clemson players who will not be playing for one reason or another. You got it, old school. I love you, Blue, as he sings "Dust in the Graveside." God, that's good. Um, um, so, so yeah, you got me with the old school. I'm here dust in the wind so much right now I can't even think. You're my boy, Blue. But yeah, we've got so much to talk about. And if some of you that okay, so this is where I'm winding down to. Um, some of you know this. I'm actually a musician, and so I just played a big Christmas show over the weekend with an orchestra. It was fun. It took my kids to see and my wife to see a Trans Siberian Orchestra on Friday night. That was incredible. But right now, most of us in the house are sick. My wife is sick. My oldest, just Bobby Durkins Jr. A lot of you have seen him. He went to Gatlinburg over the weekend after the TSO concert and came back Monday night with a stomach virus, just barfing and crapping as much as his body would allow him. If it had a hole, liquids was coming out of it. And now my youngest seems to be sick. I've been fighting off something. I talked to Chase about it, but yeah, I think that I'm kind of in the clear, but it's just like everything is going on, and there's so many things in sports to talk about. But this one I had to talk about like boom because It's really ticking me off. It's just like I gotta let it out to somebody. Y'all are actually my support group. Uh, yes, Chase, you're going to send me a bill for that one. If I can get the insurance, uh, if I can get the insurance code for that, I can pass it along to my provider. Yeah. Anyway, appreciate it. And Notre Dame 216 says he was sick all Thanksgiving weekend. Parker says Trans Siberian. I hardly know them. Are you serious? Trans Siberian Orchestra, Christmas Sarajevo. It's that song that you hear on Christmas channels. It's the hard rock, like the metal shredding. Oh my God, it was amazing. Holy crap. My sister couldn't go because she has epilepsy. I'm not kidding. And I invited her to go forgetting. She goes, dude, I can't with all those lasers. I'd be on the floor seizing out. So I enjoyed it for her. Even on a bad day, it is good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.